Today we're demonstrating this stainless steel universal drum rotator, designed for lifting and tipping drums from 50 to 220 litres. We've got our band open at the front, ready to accept a drum. Push the unit forward from our tiller or the handles on the rear. Push the band around the drum so it's fully surrounding the drum. We'll then come to the front. We take our D-ring, pass it around the front of the drum and hook it in place. We then need to tighten this band to secure the drum around the centre. To do this, we take the loose end of the strap, we open the ratchet and pull through the slack. So with one hand, I'm pulling through any slack before we use the ratchet mechanism. Still holding the loose end, we operate the ratchet. Like so. Doesn't have to be too tight, just nice and snug. We then connect our rim clamp. This grips onto the top lip of the drum and provides support in the vertical orientation. To connect this, we lift the bottom of the rim clamp up, bring our hook over the top, and then spin down our wing nut. The rim clamp's fully adjustable, so if we've got drums of different heights, we can adjust the rim clamp. In the side there's a number of holes and the rim clamp moves up and down. So I'm happy the band's secure, the rim clamp is secure as well. We're ready to lift. The unit's switched on already, so I press our lift button. Already quite close to the vessel, but I'm just going to push it forward until the drum just about touches the vessel, and then we know we're in the correct position. About there should do. And then coming round to the left side, we have a gearbox with a rotation handle, so as I turn the handle, we're going to be tipping the drum into the vessel. So rotating the handle, you notice I hold the unit with my right hand, so I can actually pull the unit forwards and backwards because the steering is positioned facing forward. So as we're tipping, I can adjust the position of the unit while tipping at the front. The handle's very easy to rotate because we use a self-locking gearbox with a high ratio. This means if we have a heavy drum up to 350 kilo, turning the handle is still very easy. If the handle's out of reach, we can either use some steps to raise ourselves up to reach the handle, or we offer a powered rotation model where we have buttons on the rear panel for tipping as well as the lift functions. We can lower down and then we'll demonstrate how we remove the drum from the head before going and getting another drum. As mentioned, this is a stainless steel model, so it's ideal for food applications or pharmaceutical companies where cleanliness is really important. Once the drum's on the floor, we disconnect the drum by doing the reverse. So we hold our rim clamp and release the rim clamp from the drum. And then for the ratchet, take our loose end, open the ratchet, pull it all the way forward and it will make a click. That means we've let the tension out. Then we simply open the ratchet up to make some slack and remove the hook from the front. We can now pull the drum out, wheel the unit away and collect another drum. We've now got this L-ring plastic drum. It's a sealed drum. Push our band around the drum, just like before. Come forward. We always connect the strap first, so the strap comes around the front, hooks into place. And then we take the loose end or slack end and pull through the slack. So we're pulling through the slack before we tighten it up. Then our rim clamp. The height's about right here, but if we wanted to adjust the height, we remove this pin, hold the rim clamp, and take the pin out. And the rim clamp actually comes away completely. You can see the series of holes we have here. And this allows us to set the rim clamp for different drum sizes. To set the rim clamp, we put it in the slot, lift it up until this is touching below the lip, and then refit our pin. The rim clamp's set at the right height. We now need to secure it. So we lift the bottom up to the rim, hook over the top, and spin this wing nut down. Tighten the wing nut. Not too tight, just nice and snug. So our band's secure, rim clamp's secure. The rim clamp's really important with these plastic drums. They're quite smooth and slippery. In this case, we've got a tap, so when we're going to tip the drum into a vessel, we're going to open our valve to decant the material. And because we've got a tap, we don't want it to glug. So we've got our vent hole, the other bung open. So when we tip, we just got to be careful we don't tip it too far and have liquid coming out of our breather hole there. So lifting up. Moving the unit forward. A good guide, like I said before, is bringing the drum right up towards so it touches the vessel. Turning our handle to rotate the gearbox. I don't want to go too far, I don't want the liquid coming out of a breather hole. Got a tap here, so I'm just going to open that one up. If needed, I can tip a little bit further. We offer a weighing system, so if you wanted to measure how much you're decanting, we can offer a screen on the unit which gives you the weight and shows you exactly how much liquid you're pouring from your drum. So once we've decanted enough, we'll come round, close our tap, bring the unit away, and we'll move it back into the vertical. The manual rotation suits companies handling a range of drums. If you're handling lots and lots of drums per day, we can offer fully powered units, so units that clamp drums and also with a drive system. So this unit has rear wheel steering, so the tiller allows us to control the direction of the wheels at the back of the unit. We also offer power driven models where you have a powered tiller and you use your thumbs to move the unit forward and backwards. We're now looking at the band assembly of this model. The unit can handle drums from 50 to 220 litres and is fully adjustable. Here's an example of a smaller drum. You can see the diameter is much smaller. The drum's empty for the video purposes, so we can move it in and out. So what we do when we have a drum like this is our arms slide in and out. So I'm going to push the left arm towards this drum, and I'm going to pull the right arm also towards this drum. you can see we've got a much smaller gap in the middle here, but our band is no longer circular. So what we do is we have two locking pins here. So we hold the band, remove one locking pin and remove the other. We then take each band, one in each hand, each segment, and pull them apart. And we can now see all these different holes we have in the band. We can bring the band and close the pins like so. As you can see, we've got a slightly smaller radius here. I'm going to go one more. So take the bands apart and position them like so. Now this circle here is looking a lot closer to the size we need. Just going to fit our locking pins so the band can't come apart. The band's complete again. I'll bring our drum in. And you can see we've got a much better fit. If we close the gates around the front, you can see that we've now got a circular band, and once we tighten it up and fit our rim clamp, we're ready to lift and tip. We've adjusted our band assembly to suit this smaller drum, and now we need to tighten the strap and then secure the rim clamp. To tighten the strap, it's hooked on at the front, so we pull all the slack through and then operate the ratchet. We then stow the ratchet away, and you can see then our rim clamp is the next thing. Is at the minute it's set for a much taller drum, so we need to bring this height down to connect beneath the lip of the drum. To do this, we hold the rim clamp with one hand, remove this locking pin, and remove this pin as well. So this is a complete pin. The rim clamp comes out completely if we want to, and you'll see on the side we have all these different holes that allow us to put the pin at different heights. I'm going to refit it. This drum's got some nice handle holes, so we can grip in this handle slot here, but we could also grip on the solid edge of the drum as well. So we lift up the rim clamp until it's under the lip of the drum, and then we refit our pin and the locking pin. We've set the height correctly, so now we need to secure it. And to do this, we lift up the bottom of the rim clamp, lift it over the top, and then tighten the wing nut at the top. So there we have it. The band's tight, rim clamp's tight. We're ready to lift and tip this smaller drum. We're now looking at the rear control panel of this machine. You'll notice the labels are in Spanish, as this machine is being sent to Spain. To turn the machine on, we take our power key, push it into position and twist clockwise. We have a spare key attached here. When we turn the power on, you'll see our battery condition meter shows us the condition of the battery. It's important that when the machine is not in use, the batteries are maintained by plugging the unit in to charge. To charge the unit, we plug a mains power socket into the side of the machine. The cable is provided with the machine. We have an emergency stop button here, so at any point if we press down on the emergency stop, you can see our power's gone out and none of the functions will work. To reset the machine, we lift up until it clicks, and you can see we have power back onto the machine. In the centre here, we have our lift button and our lower button.